Hey everyone, I'm Caitlin Gutierrez, team coordinator of the worship mission here at First Christian Church. I'm here with Pastor Lynn Scott to share some information about our return to the sanctuary planned for Sunday, June 28th of 2020. While we've had great online worship since March 22nd, we are so excited to be back together in our church home. Our ministry team has met regularly during this time of separation, and we are ready to share our plan for gathering back together safely.
Hopefully, as you read through the materials the worship mission team has provided, and you have a chance to eventually watch the video presentations that will all be put online, we want you to know that the most important thing as we gather together again is that we can do so safely without risking the health of any of our church family. This has been the underlying thought as we developed our plan, which is actually rooted in our church mission statement. And the statement says in part that we are to be a place of healing and comfort. I believe our plan will help us continue to serve our church family and our community while staying true to that mission.
Before we share the plan, it's important for you to understand why we are doing what we're doing. First of all, we intend to follow guidelines provided by the CDC and state and local health departments to prevent the spread of the virus among our congregation. These guidelines change from time to time, and our Mission Council will advise us when we can make adjustments to our plan. There are 5 important guidelines that we are following. Number 1, use of social distancing. All movement of persons within our building will be directed to provide adequate space between groups and individuals. Seating in the sanctuary will also be directed with every other pew restricted and seating within the pew spread according to guidelines. Worshipers are requested to not move around the sanctuary during worship.
Number 2, encouragement of proper hand hygiene. Hand sanitizer will be available in the narthex as each person enters the building. The first floor bathrooms, they'll be open with adequate facilities for hand washing as well, and a child diaper care station will also be made available for families who need that type of service.
Number 3, use of face masks. Wearing of cloth face coverings is highly encouraged. If someone needs a cloth face covering, we will have a small supply available. All worship leaders will wear a mask throughout the service. Pastor Lynn will remove his mask for the sermon for better communication, but he'll remain physically separated.
Number 4, we ask that you limit the touching of shared items, such as you commonly have seen in the pews and other places. Changes are being made for the collection of offering, sharing of communion, and sharing of written prayer concerns and other worship materials. Pews and pew back pockets are empty. Other than pencils, prayer request cards, attendance cards, and bulletins will be there. All will be sanitized between weekly services.
And finally, number 5, sanitizing and cleaning. All areas of the building have been cleaned and sanitized while the building has been closed. All areas used on Sunday will be restricted following Sunday worship until Wednesday, when they will be cleaned and sanitized, and then restricted again until our next Sunday worship. Signs will be posted to restrict access to the sanctuary. So those are the 5 guidelines on which we've based our plan. Next, we want to share some of the physical and procedural changes that you'll be seeing beginning on June 28th. But first, I want to reassure you that if you're not ready to physically join us for worship, you will still have the opportunity to worship with us online. We want you to be comfortable coming back to the sanctuary and to be confident that we have created a safe space for you whenever you are ready. Now, let's see how things will work.
Welcome back to the sanctuary. Here's a short demonstration of what you can expect when you arrive at the church and how you'll proceed to the sanctuary. We're sharing 2 versions, an eager worshiper, Eager Irma, who is so excited to see everyone that she does not follow the guidelines, bless her heart, and others who do follow the guidelines. We hope you will learn from Eager Irma's errors and that following the other worshipers will help you be prepared for our time together, keeping everyone safe. When coming to in-person worship, this is very important. If you're not feeling well or are experiencing any flu-like symptoms or have a fever, please do not come to in-person worship. In this case, please contact your healthcare provider. If prayer is needed, contact the church office, Pastor Lynn or an elder. Please do not arrive before 10 a.m. The doors will be opened at 10 a.m. East and west entrances will be available. If you arrive early, please remain in your vehicle until 10, or until you can approach the door without crowding others. There will be room inside for everyone. You're strongly encouraged to wear a mask for the protection of other worshipers. The east and west doors will each have a greeter at the door. The greeter will assure we follow social distancing guidelines by directing the flow of traffic into the narthex. As you arrive, you may be asked to wait to enter until there is sufficient distance available. Many sections of the building are restricted for now, so please be sure to follow the directions of the greeter and heed the posted signs. Again, this is for the safety of all those attending, and your cooperation is appreciated. When the space is cleared, you'll be directed to the hand sanitizer station in the center of the narthex, where a volunteer is available to share hand sanitizer with you. Eventually, we'll have automated no-touch hand sanitizing stations. If you would like to wear a cloth face covering but don't have one is available at this station. We strongly recommend that you wear a face covering. It helps protect you and those around you. In her eagerness to enter the sanctuary, eager Irma places herself and others at risk. Entry to the sanctuary will be via the center aisle. Exit will be via the side aisles as directed by volunteers. This will minimize face-to-face encounters and the potential for exposure. When the aisle is clear, you'll be directed down the center aisle to the next greeter who will, from the appropriate distance, assist you in finding your seat. You'll be able to choose where you would like to sit, provided it meets these guidelines. There will be a cart with pre-packaged communion for you to pick up. Please only touch the communion you will be using, taking enough for your family. Take-home kids packs will be available for children. These are not to be returned, so please take all parts of the kids pack with you when you leave the sanctuary. Counting pews from the front, all even-numbered pews will be blocked off. There will be 9 pews available on each side. Seating within the pew will adhere to social distancing guidelines of 6 feet distance between worshipers unless in the same household. To protect all worshipers, no one is to move around the sanctuary. Once you are seated, please remain in your seat until dismissed. There is no children's church or nursery available, so children will need to remain with their families in the sanctuary. A children's moment will be shared through video projection, with all remaining in their seats. At the entrance to each available pew will be that day's bulletin and attendance cards. Please pick up the number you will need for your family. 1 attendance card is needed for each family. In the pew pockets, you'll find prayer request cards, offering envelopes, and pencils. If you use a pencil, please leave it in the pew so it can be disinfected before replacing. Offering and attendance cards will be collected in boxes near the exit doors at the conclusion of the service. A trash can will also be at that location for any trash items. Once you're in your seat, you're probably wondering what will be different during worship. Our order of worship has been modified to reduce the time in the sanctuary, anticipating approximately 45 minutes. There will be limited congregational singing during the service. You are encouraged to participate as you feel comfortable. Hymnals will not be available, but the words will be shared on the large screen. Here's one of the biggest differences. At the conclusion of the service, worshipers will be seated and then dismissed row by row through the outside aisles. You are encouraged to leave the building directly so that others may be dismissed. No gathering will be allowed in the sanctuary or narthex. If you choose to visit with others following the service, please do so outside, please don't block doorways, and please be mindful of social distancing guidelines. Once again, as you leave, you'll find a place for any extra trash and for your offering and attendance cards. Please remember, it's not that we don't want to see you and visit with you and give you a big hug. We are recommending these measures to keep everyone safe during this time of uncertainty and health risk. Following these guidelines is the best way you can show your love for your church family, and your words can always express that even from a distance. Text or email someone, or give them a call this week to encourage them. Continue to be the church even from a distance.
So just a few more reminders that may help you avoid surprises when you come back to the sanctuary. The first floor restrooms near the office are open and available if needed, but all others are closed. All areas of the church building other than the narthex, sanctuary, and the first floor restrooms are closed. There is a parents' room near the nursery available for diaper changes if needed. You'll access that up the balcony steps and then follow the signs. The balcony is closed except for those working during the service, such as our sound, projection, and broadcast team. Remember, the weekly service will be broadcast online for those unable to attend. Access the broadcast through the church website and/or the Facebook page. Finally, and this is very important, physical contact with others is strongly discouraged. Even if you are comfortable with a handshake or hug, please be sensitive that others may not be comfortable with such contact at this time. For the sake of safety and personal comfort, please respect the guidelines provided. And please note that these guidelines also apply to Pastor Lynn. No matter how much he would love to give you an encouraging hug or welcoming handshake, for now, let's err on the side of safety and use our words to remind others how much we care about them. Guidelines have been recommended by the worship ministry team and are supported by the Mission Council. However, these will be reviewed weekly following worship for any needed adjustments. If you have questions or concerns about the guidelines, please contact a member of the worship ministry team, the Mission Council, or Pastor Lynn. Welcome back to the sanctuary at First Christian Church.